Welcome to Rosedale Memorial Arch. In 1917, on this site called Mount Marty, 375 young Kansas National Guardsmen enlisted in the United States Army. Sent to Camp Mills in Garden City, New York, they would become part of the 6 companies of the 117th Field Ammunition Train of the 42nd Rainbow Division. As the United States entered the war in Europe, each state hoped to be the first to send its National Guard unit into combat. President Woodrow Wilson, besieged by governors and senators from each state vying for this honor, turned to a young major named Douglas MacArthur to resolve this issue. MacArthur suggested a single division composed of units from each state and the District of Columbia. When faced with opposition for his idea, MacArthur offered to lead the division himself and was quoted as saying it would spread like a rainbow across America. The division was called the Rainbow Division, before it was assigned a number that to this day is utilized by the 42nd East Coast National Guard. The Rainbow Division became the first non-regular Army division in France. They entered combat under the French Army in February 1918, and in July of that same year, they were the only U.S. unit supporting the French Fourth Army campaign, where they defeated the last German offensive, which threatened Paris and the entire Allied line. Their record of achievement was the envy of all the U.S. divisions. At the forefront of these actions were the men of Kansas, who provided ammunition and rifle support. Among these brave men was a young Rosedale man, John Leroy Marshall. In 1912, Marshall had become one of the first students in the University of Kansas School of Architecture. When war broke out, Marshall enlisted and was sent to France with the 23rd Engineers Regiment to design and build combat roads. During the armistice, he was a courier for the Stars and Stripes newspaper, traveling between Paris and Koblenz, Germany. During leaves, he studied at a Parisian art school and spent hours sketching the local scenes. Many of his sketches were of the Arc de Triomphe, built by Napoleon III. When Marshall returned home to Rosedale, residents wanted to honor the memory of the soldiers of the Rainbow Division. Having become a member of the new Rosedale American Legion post, Marshall offered to draft plans for a monument. It was only natural that he would refer to his Paris sketches and design a memorial patterned after the arch. The city of Rosedale, in June 1921, approved a memorial bond of $25,000 for construction of the arch. A delay of 2 years followed, while the city of Kansas City, Kansas, annexed Rosedale. Finally, on July 20, 1923, ground was broken, and on September 7, 1924, the completed monument was dedicated. Due to its inaccessibility, the arch fell victim to neglect until a permanent road was constructed. An observation deck was built in 1972, giving visitors a panoramic view of both Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. In 1987, to celebrate the arch's 65th anniversary, the Rosedale Development Association, a not-for-profit community development group, established a Patrons of the Arch Fund, and, along with help from the city of Kansas City, Kansas, completely restored the arch to its original glory. A decorative fence was also added to protect it. On November 13, 1993, the arch was rededicated to the memory of all veterans of foreign wars. The city and Rosedale Development Association continue to improve and preserve this glorious icon of freedom and the men who fought for it.